Have you ever seen someone smile and say, "I'm fine," but something in their eyes told a completely different story? Psychology says that pretending to be okay is not just a habit, it is a survival mechanism, and the people who do it most convincingly are often hurting the most. Here are 6 psychological reasons why some people pretend to be okay, even when they are completely falling apart inside. 1. They were never taught it was safe to feel. For many people, especially those who grew up in households where emotions were dismissed or punished, showing pain was dangerous. If you cried, you were called weak. If you expressed fear, you were told to get over it. If you showed vulnerability, it was used against you. So the brain learned early, hide it, perform strength, pretend everything is fine. And that lesson, learned in childhood, does not disappear in adulthood. It just becomes automatic. 2. They do not want to be a burden. People who pretend to be okay care deeply about others, and because they care, they cannot stand the idea of adding to someone else's load. They tell themselves everyone has their own problems. Who am I to make things worse? So they carry everything quietly. They smile at the dinner table. They send cheerful texts, and they cry alone at night when nobody is watching. Psychology calls this emotional suppression, and research shows it does not make the pain smaller, it makes it heavier. 3. Their identity is built around being strong. Some people have been the reliable one for so long, the one who holds things together, the one others lean on, that falling apart feels like betraying who they are. If I'm struggling, who am I? Their strength is not just a trait, it's their identity, and admitting pain feels like losing themselves. So they perform okayness, not to deceive others, but to protect the version of themselves they've spent years building. 4. They're afraid of what opening up would reveal. Sometimes pretending to be okay is not about others, it's about themselves. Because if they stop pretending, if they actually sit with what they're feeling, they might have to face things they're not ready to face. A relationship that's not working, a life that went in the wrong direction, a grief they never processed. Pretending is a way of keeping those doors closed, of staying functional, of surviving one more day without everything unraveling. Psychology calls this avoidance coping, and while it works short term, the longer the door stays closed, the harder it becomes to ever open it. 5. They've been let down before. At some point, they tried, they opened up, they told someone they were struggling, and the response was not what they needed. They were dismissed, judged, made to feel dramatic, or the person they trusted used their vulnerability against them. So they learned it's safer not to share. The risk is not worth the reward. And every time they say "I'm fine" when they're not, it's not dishonesty, it's self-protection, built from experience, reinforced by disappointment. 6. They don't know how to ask for help. This sounds simple, but for many people, asking for help was never modeled. They never watched the people around them say, "I'm struggling and I need support," so they genuinely don't know how to do it. The words feel foreign, unnatural, even embarrassing, and so they default to the only language they know. "I'm okay, I'm fine, don't worry about me." Not because they want to hide, but because they were never given the vocabulary for anything else. If you recognize yourself in any of these, you are not broken. You are not weak. You are someone who learned to survive in the only way you knew how. But surviving and living are two different things. And the people who pretend to be okay the longest, they deserve real support the most. If this described you or someone you know, share it. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do for someone is show them they're not the only one.